Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss one of the most talked about features on the iPhone 16 series, which is the new capture button. If you've been keeping up with the hype, you'd think that the capture button is a revolutionary step in smartphone photography. But let's be real for a second, was anyone really asking for this? Here in front of me is my iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I wanted to talk about why I am not going to review the iPhone 16 series. So let's go ahead and open up the camera app here on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Okay, so here we are in the camera app. Now the capture button on the iPhone 16 series would be pretty much right here where my index finger is. And so I think most people would be holding their phone kind of like this to take a picture, or like this. So you would kind of have your pinky underneath the phone, your two fingers across the back, and then your index finger would kind of lay right here where the capture button would be. I think that's what they intended. But was anyone seriously frustrated by tapping the button on the screen to take a photo? Like, is that something people were demanding to be fixed, you know? Like, just snap, 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 right? And it seems to me like you would be more prone to shaking in your photo or video by squeezing, right? I mean, I guess technically you could do it like this. They kind of intend you to do it like this, but it still kind of seems like you're a little bit more prone to shaking when taking a photo or video versus just like tapping on the screen. For most of us, taking pictures with the on-screen button is still just easier. Your thumb's kind of already right there when you're framing the shot, and it doesn't require any extra thought. I mean, you're holding your phone for the shot. Why change your grip to use the capture button when the virtual button is just right there under your thumb? So I'm not, I don't think you could really use, I guess you could kind of get used to using the capture button like this, or maybe like this, right? But I get it. Every year Apple has to put some kind of new feature to differentiate this year's model from last year's, and this year with the iPhone 16 series, it's that capture button. And look, the capture button is functional. It works well for what it does, especially if you're someone who likes taking a lot of pictures. But is it really a game changer? I just don't think so. I think this is another feature, kind of like Dynamic Island, that Apple is just overhyping. And it's like, at least with the action button, starting with the iPhone 15 series, it kind of replaced something that was already there and added more functionality than the mute switch. Now you could argue and say, yeah, the capture button adds more functionality also, but technically all of those controls in the camera were already there. It's just now there's a dedicated button to control them. And I just feel like it's very unlike Apple to add buttons. It seems very unlike them to add an additional button. Like I said, with the action button, it replaced something that was already there. So with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, in comparison to the iPhone 15 Pro Max here, you've got the shrunken bezels to have a larger screen, 6.9 inch versus 6.7. That is nice. I've seen it in person. You can definitely tell, but only if they're side by side. And it's not like the iPhone 15 Pro Max or even the 14 Pro Max just magically doesn't look good anymore. But pretty much in terms of screen brightness and how smooth it is, it's the same on the 16 Pro Max. The A18 is a decent bit faster than the A17 Pro, but not like a night and day difference. You still have the same amount of RAM, same storage options, I believe, just a new color, right? That's pretty much it. There's always a new color every year. And I know some of you may be wondering, well, what was I expecting year to year? Phones don't change a lot, and that is very true. It's not like I was expecting much to change on the iPhone 16 Pro series from the iPhone 15 Pro series, but it just seems like every year with the iPhone, there's all this hype around, somewhat silly features. I'm pretty sure there was a Sony phone on the Android side that had some sort of capture button. Don't quote me on that, but I believe there was. And I've also seen some battery tests where the iPhone 16 Pro Max gets hours more screen on time than the 15 Pro Max. But I've also seen some where it only got an hour more of screen on time. Now that's still a decent increase in screen on time. And of course with battery comparisons, it's a difficult thing to compare because there's all these variables you have to try and control. And not to mention the Apple Intelligence, right? The whole It's Glow Time event that Apple based around Apple Intelligence, and it didn't even launch with the iPhone 16 series. And I just feel like if that were on the Android side of things, it would not fly. People would be roasting Android phones for not having a feature at launch. But it's like you see all over YouTube and all over TV commercials You know, like Verizon commercials. Get the new iPhone 16 series with Apple Intelligence. And it's like, it's not even there yet. So they base the whole entire event around these new features on the iPhone 16 series that's not even here yet. Lots of marketing around it, and it just seems very un-Apple-like. I mean, every company is sort of anti-consumer in some way, and sometimes phones launch without certain kind of smaller features that was shown during an event, but I feel like this Apple Intelligence is a big thing for them, right? And it's just the emphasis they've put on the marketing of Apple Intelligence, and it's not even here. The truth is, though, none of what I'm saying means that the iPhone 16 series phones are bad phones. I think they're very good devices. I think people who purchase them will be very happy with them. The capture button is kind of cool, but I do think it's overhyped. If you already have an iPhone 15, I don't think you're missing out on much, and it just seems like you're upgrading just for the sake of a button. So as of right now, these are my two devices that I have. Absolutely love my OnePlus 12, as you guys have seen my content on that. Just an awful experience with the customer service. iPhone 15 Pro Max has been fantastic as well. There are things I like and dislike about both sides, and I think as a reviewer, we have to be in tune with the offerings in the market. But what do you guys think about iPhone 16 reviews? Do you still like seeing reviews on devices even though the updates are very iterative? To me, sometimes, you know, like in this instance with the iPhone 16 series, I don't feel like it's necessarily worth my time, definitely not my money for such a minor upgrade. But you guys can let me know what you think. Also, what do you think about the capture button feature? Is that something you were dying for? Do you think it's something people were really asking for before the iPhone 16 series? Or is it just another overblown marketing move by Apple? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video.